Egyptians disillusioned with their president began protests demanding he step down on the one-year anniversary of his swearing-in ceremony. Less than a week later, Mohamed Morsy was removed from power with the help of the military, putting Egypt on course for more pain. Morsi still has support and his Muslim Brotherhood group is likely to still have an important role in Egypt's future. Even prominent reform figures say the Brotherhood should be part of Egypt's future. Supporters vow to return Morsi to palace. But the fallout from Morsi's removal will be felt across the region, and Jane Kinninmont warned that some of the nations that cheered Morsi's downfall may change their view if it sparks people power protests at home. Morsi was elected president of Egypt in 2012 but went on to push a pro-Islamist agenda that angered opposition liberals, Frida Ghitis said. Mohamed Ayoub, writing on CNN.com, argued Morsi's greatest mistakes were too much, not too little, accommodation of political opponents and not reining in the military's autonomy. He says some disillusioned Islamists will now likely resort to arms. Before the protests began, CNN contributor Cynthia Schneider warned of the coming second revolution. Millions took part calling for an end to Morsi's presidency, countered by smaller, but still large, pro-Morsi rallies. Morsi was given 2 deadlines on Monday. The opposition gave him 24 hours to quit, the military gave him 48 hours to meet the demands of the people. CNN's Ben Wademan pointed out it's hard to rule Egypt without the support of the military. And come the military's Wednesday deadline, Morsi disappeared from view, though he was still tweeting, as his opponents camped out in Tahrir Square until a general announced on TV that Morsi was no longer in power. Huge cheers rang across the square. Reporters in Egypt explained their joy for the moment and their hopes for the future. The Muslim Brotherhood railed against the military's involvement in ousting Morsi and demanded its supporters take to the streets. Isabel Coleman, a senior fellow for U.S. foreign policy at the Council on Foreign Relations, said Egyptians will now have to choose between secular or Islamic rule, and that the decision will echo far beyond Egypt's borders. In the immediate aftermath, world leaders from Iran to the United States reacted to events in Egypt and brushed up on their knowledge of the world's newest leader, interim President Adli Mansour, who until Wednesday, when the military suspended the constitution, was head of the Supreme Constitutional Court.